Mobilization. Although we see tearful farewells in the streets, our blocks keep being heroically peaceful. The whole of Europe is now being mobilized. Germany declared war. In the morning, at the Reichstag, Chancellor Hitler put forward his demands. He wants Gdansk, Pomerania, a number of plebiscites. Alarm. We're hiding downstairs. What great news. We heard on the radio that England has declared war on Germany. They're playing God Save the King, the Marseillaise, and the Polish anthem. What a pleasure to listen. Łódź is defeated. Mr. Grabinski has come back from the city centre with news on how local Germans welcome their compatriots. The Grand Hotel, where top officers will stay, is all in flowers. Civilians are jumping into military cars. Boys and girls are happily shouting, Heil Hitler. We hear loud German talks in the streets. Erev Rosh Hashanah, a holiday. Today's order is to open all shops tomorrow. Jews haven't experienced anything like this for centuries. Rosh Hashanah with open shops, and yet synagogues are to be closed. They take away all our human rights and freedoms. Jews will never forgive Hitler for that. We will take our revenge. Russia broke the non-aggression pact with Poland and invaded its eastern lands. Initially, I find it hard to understand. At 5, I listened to Hitler's speech. He spoke in the free city of Gdansk after he was welcomed there with a standing ovation. Indeed, he is a great statesman, but his behavior was truly shameful. He was shaking, writhing, shouting, insulting, and endearing himself to others. And above all, he was simply lying and lying. Today's Deutsche Lotse Zeitung announced that Łódź is joining Warthegau, that is, the Great Reich. Jews cannot enter Piotrkowska Street, the city's center. What is more, they cannot wear peaked caps, uniforms, greatcoats, bright buttons, and lampasses. The synagogue was burned. There's something wrong with Germans. Yesterday they started a terrible and chaotic robbery. They're taking away everything. Furniture, clothes, underwear, and food. We're back in medieval times. The yellow badge is again part of a Jewish outfit. The school was taken away. Everything must be removed by tomorrow. Students are helping some hired porters. A grave atmosphere. I've washed the floor. I didn't want Mum to trouble with her arthritis, and additionally, I earned 15 pfennigs.
Kończy się dziennik wraz z rokiem kalendarzowym 39. Przypadek? Chyba tak. A może on sam chciał zacząć notatnik od nowego roku. Wiemy, że brakuje 4 zeszytów. Te zeszyty odtwarzają 5 kwartałów. Między 1 stycznia 40 roku a 6 kwietnia 41 roku. I tu będzie się bardzo wiele działo przede wszystkim przeprowadzka do getta, tworzenie administracji getowej i wszystkie konsekwencje tego. Więc oczywiście Rumkowskiego koncepcja jest skądinąd chyba jedyna, nieuchronna. Trzeba tak zrobić, żebyśmy byli Niemcom potrzebni. Kiedy będziemy potrzebni? Jeżeli będziemy mogli być dla nich produktywni, czyli produkować dla Niemców.
A few thousand people have left. They keep sending letters from the labourers. We hear from them that they eat well, in a way they never did in the ghetto. We eat, eat, and eat. First day of school. The road to Maryshin is long and terribly muddy because of the rains. We cross various fields, which leaves our shoes in terrible shape. Today, after a long time of doing nothing, we held a Politburo meeting. In the winter, we joined the ghetto-wide movement as its fully affiliated members. Nutek Radzina, our representative, is fully engaged in the ghetto movement. It's terribly cold today. All the fields in the ghetto have already been ploughed. Not a bad idea. Areas near schools are being farmed by students. It's good to learn more about farming. Everything might prove useful. The doctor saw me today. She was frightened by how thin I am. She sent me to have an X-ray performed. Lung diseases are extremely fashionable in the ghetto these days. Perfect killers, just like dysentery or typhoid. As of today, I get double soup at school. We had another Politburo meeting in the evening. I was delegated for a sociology class. I've been behind schedule with work today. I'm terribly hungry. My little loaf of bread was supposed to last until Tuesday, but there's no trace of it anymore. I cannot help it. I'm so weak that I simply have to eat. And so the bread is disappearing, and the suffering grows even greater. Mum keeps working. She leaves at 7 a.m. and comes back at 10 p.m. My father's on duty from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The whole house is kept by Nadia. She and Mum give my father 100 grams of bread, but he never shows appreciation of it. His attitude towards us is always bad and self-centered. Huge motorized infantry units go down SIERAKOWIAK'S Street. Never in my life have I seen such machines. Jews are not allowed onto the bridges to see them. No one knows where they're headed. The X-ray picture shows no changes in the lungs, but something might be wrong with my heart. I vomited terribly in the night, so I've stayed in bed all day and felt weak as never before. I have hardly anything to fill my ever-hungry stomach with, so vomiting food without actually using it is truly a scandal. I pinned my first Jewish poem, Sadness, on the bulletin board. It was read by Volman. an author who now teaches Jewish in our school. He said there's a portion of talent in the poem, but it's heavily overwritten. The Germans signed a non-aggression pact with the Turks. Are they securing themselves before a war with the Soviet Union? All news fans have been arrested today for having listened to the radio. 40+ people are already in prison. What unbelievably wonderful news. Germany declared war on the Soviet Union. I hope there won't be a German-English alliance. I hope the world's united bourgeoisie will not dare attack our beloved, free and great Soviet Union. That's all true. The whole ghetto is like one beehive. Everybody feels we finally stand a chance of liberation. Newtek told me I was accepted into the ghetto's higher party. I'm now among the school's 5, chosen from our whole association. We will be coordinating all members' work and getting ourselves mentally prepared for whatever may come. It's getting worse at home. My father has worked 8 days without being paid a penny. There's no money from the benefits fund. My mum has little work in the kitchen, and that means little money too. I'm the only breadwinner, with the money from my classes, just like a year ago. A bread distribution day today. We received one at 6 p.m. All day I've had nothing but a bit of water, or soup, from the kitchen. This lack of soup at school is almost impossible to bear. Starving was easy compared to this. I was used to not eating anything all day, but now I'm a weak weed. I've started translating poetry. I'm translating Ovid's Daedalus and Icarus into Polish, and Chernychowski's Hebrew poem, Baruch from Mainz, into Yiddish. My tooth is aching so much that I'm going crazy. Half my face is swollen. Lots of fun in school today. There were no classes. Instead, all the kids from Marysian paraded in front of Rumkowski. We were all served an extra course, a piece of bread with a slice of sausage. Our overlord was making a gesture. Obviously, he couldn't do without giving us a speech. He said he was providing us with everything he could, and in return, he only wants us to learn well. Many dignitaries and guests came with Rumkowski, as well as the whole guest house. This guest house was opened by Rumkowski in Marysian for the community's distinguished workers. They say they live better there than they did before the war. What a terrible shame for the whole community. It shall never be forgiven. I got a new class today, 10 marks a month. A 5th grade student. I don't have that much time, so I'll have that class in the evening on my way back from school. I'll be earning 40 marks a month, which is more than I've ever had. Despite this joy, I still have nothing to eat. I'm constantly and terribly hungry. The first day of the war's 3rd year. How many anniversaries like this are there still ahead of us? If many, we won't live until the end. The ghetto will kill us, despite the imminent potato crop, and despite the plentiful work in the ghetto. I had a talk with Mutek Radzina, an interesting and serious one. He stated that he and the party have completely changed their minds about me. They claim I am destructive because of my attitude towards work. Class after class. Waking up in the morning, one student, another one, then another. School, then another student. Later homework, sleeping, and then another morning. Day by day. Sometimes a few pages of a book, sometimes no class. The time flies so quickly and identically that before you realize it's Saturday, then another Saturday. Next month, the end of summer, late autumn. And the war is still here. The last day of school. My last day in secondary school. Damn it, so much is happening in the world, and I'm supposed to be moved by that stupid thing. Yet, indeed, I am moved, as it touches upon me, and opens my life's new era. Will this be a high school era? I don't know. I received a picture from the last day of school. A good photo. I really look great in it. Rumkowski called all ghetto teachers to a meeting. He said that 20,000 Jews from all across Germany are coming to the ghetto. As a result, we will start the winter break now, during which time he'll make a decision. It seems this is the end of schools in the ghetto. A number of my friends started their apprenticeships in Podlaski's saddlery shop. I shall visit Rysiek tomorrow to discuss it. The first snow has fallen today. What a sensation. My shoes are soaking wet. It is terrible. Another letter submitted to Rumkowski, this time in Jewish. I kindly asked for a job and shoes. In the afternoon, the first group of deportees from Vienna arrived. They came with a wagon of bread, dressed elegantly. Some of them have sons at the front. There are pastors and doctors. The same number will come each day until it reaches 20,000. I'm going to the saddlery department tomorrow. We got information from Rysiek Podlaski, me and some other friends. 5 or 6 from my class. So, it seems that I will start the new notebook already as a saddlery apprentice.
To ostatnie zdanie tego zeszytu, tego dziennika pod datą 23 października. Pewny jestem jednak, że czeka nas jeszcze wspaniałe, promienne życie. Tak wierzyliśmy i byliśmy przekonani. Ja myślę, że to było jednoczyć jakąś siłą napędową. Ja zresztą muszę powiedzieć, że niemal do ostatniego dnia, do ostatnich tygodni wojny, kiedy już ja ciągle wierzyłem i chyba każdy z nas, że będzie żył i że będzie dobrze.
Winter is back. There's a lot of snow and a big freeze. I cannot help thinking about this cold. let alone the hunger. In the department, they said I was officially nominated a group leader by Pobladsky. Nadja will be in my group too. The sudden evening news is that 15,000 people will be immediately deported from the ghetto. 1,000 people a day. I'm rapidly becoming dangerously exhausted. In the morning, I almost lost consciousness when taking dirty water downstairs. Yet there's no end in the horizon. I read but can hardly take it in. Just a few English words. Fragments of Schopenhauer's books, among others. Philosophy and hunger. Quite an interesting combination. Total confusion. Deportations are at their greatest level despite all departments having major orders. There'll be work for months to come. Mum can hardly walk, so all the work falls to me and Nadja. After a clear-up, I now have a fresh bed, just like before the war. My father took my piece of bread. I didn't talk to him today. What a nasty piece of work. I'm ashamed to Schopenhauer's spirit. I've never been in so much shit. We took all the sewage that was being stored in the backyard all winter. The community has to take it away. A new fashion in the ghetto. Potatoes are boiled and eaten without peeling. They say it's more filling and better value. A strange taste, but easy to get used to. Quarrels at home again. My father keeps taking kilograms of potatoes to the department in order to boil them there. Mum keeps quiet, but is bitter underneath. I'm not interfering, but the atmosphere is more than tense. We have no more wood, so we chopped up one newly bought chair. I was terribly dizzy yesterday evening. It lasted all through the night and into the next day. I could hardly stand up straight in the department. As of Monday, according to the new ruling, all German and Czech Jews will be deported, even those who work. People started trading clothes in the streets. Germans and Czechs don't need them anymore. They don't want money, just food. A loaf of bread costs 200 marks. A kilogram of potatoes, 25 marks. A terrible hunger in the ghetto again. Money has almost no value. A loaf of bread costs 400 rumki. A kilogram of potatoes, 50 marks. A department soup, 10 to 15 rumki. The number of deaths in the ghetto is rising rapidly again. People are swelling, and every day you see someone with these bags under their eyes. Prices have gotten crazy. I got so angry today that at 6, I went to a concert at Eng.version Street. It takes place every Saturday, for both the better fed and the terribly hungry. 1.5 hours of getting away from the ghetto's lovely everyday life. Mum is rapidly fading. Nadja's struggling with ulcers. My fellow group leader, Eng.version, told me today that I seem to be eating well because I have bags of fat under my eyes. So, we are queuing to the graveyard at Mauritian. The situation has turned terrible. The work at departments has almost stopped. We're looking forward to strikes, because people are not able to work. Yet Bukojemski decided to give out allowances before the 15th. Now he can say there's no reason to strike. By that time, he will manage to send out German Jews, so there will be no food trading and his budget will be full. Having said that, until Wednesday, and for us Saturday when our street receives allowances, many people will have kicked the bucket because of this delay. Our internal relations at home are awful and tense again. It was fairly peaceful for 2 weeks, with my father dividing bread into fair portions. But yesterday he devoured his whole loaf, and today he ate half a kilogram that he gets from my mum and Nadja, stealing an additional 100 grams from them. Today he took a sausage and ate over 50 grams in the street. Our missing rations show themselves on our scales. In the dairy shop, he also got 1 litre of whey for the entire family, but he boiled it all and drank it himself. We've got nothing to eat and go to sleep hungry. I've heard today the secret news that the ghetto has received some parcels with clothes and things, which probably belong to...
Jakoby urwa się. Jest dla mnie całkowicie jasne, że tam musiało być. Jakoby należały do ludzi, te rzeczy, którzy zostali wywiezieni w poprzednich miesiącach, o których losie nie widzieliśmy. I teraz już wiemy, skoro rzeczy zostały przesłane, to ci ludzie zginęli. Brakuje tylko kilku dni, zapisów z kilku dni. To są znamienne dni. Po pierwsze dlatego, że było uzupełnienie tego zdania, o którym mówiłem, ale również dlatego, że jeżeli mnie pamięć nie myli, w tym czasie dotarło do getta zamówienie komendanta obozu zagłady z Chełmna, Kulmhof, do fabryki metalowej w Łodzi, ażeby wykonała młyn, wielki młyn do mielenia kości. Zrozumiałe.
My last salary was 24.66 rumki. I heard that a kilogram of sugar costs only 40 marks, and a loaf of bread 100 marks. And so, the summer is over, the winter is coming. Years, youth, strength, and life are all passing, but the war is lasting forever. No chance of change, so far. In the department, feeling dreadful, I wrote hunger, death, delirium. A few pages of delirious notes. This constant fight between hope and despair is ultimately killing me. When it comes to weighing and dividing food, it's getting really tense at home. The main problem is with my father, who's cheating everybody, but claims he is actually the one that has cheated. I dream the war is over, as then I'd finally start a new life, on my own, without all those quarrels and arguments at my parents' home. I visited Nutek Radzina. He still hopes I'll join him once more in his activities. He tried to convince me that I should have a guilty conscience for doing nothing at such a time. If he only knew how little I care these days. There's no chance I could even write. Will I ever truly feel myself again? There is almost nothing to eat at home. Anything we cook is basically just leaves. I'm so weak, I only lie in bed, half dead all day, every day. I read nothing, and there's nothing I want to do. The dying process has started. I feel awful today. I'm shocked because of the growing number of my friends suffering from the most popular illness in the whole ghetto. Water on the lungs. High temperature, pain, sometimes coughing and sweating. The X-ray shows shadows or murmurs in the pulmonary cavity. Injections, medications, hospital, and graveyard. More and more people, closer to me and faster. In such conditions, is it possible not to lose one's temper or mind? And others simply gobble and do not fear death from exhaustion and tuberculosis. This division grows bigger, more arrogant and clear. I remember Bukojemski's words, allegedly uttered last year, that although he cannot save all the Jews in the ghetto from a slow, hungry death, he would at least save the top 10,000 Jews. I visited Nutek today. We understand each other better, but at the same time, we're consciously turning away from one another. His life is devoted to an idea. Nothing else is important to him. Our former school organization has significantly developed over the recent year. He's obviously the leader, independent, critical towards other authorities in the ghetto. We will see the outcome after the war. I felt very bad today, but at the department I had some sort of inspiration to write a powerful Jewish poem. I Want to Live, and a few pages of The Alarm. The reports say lots of Jews are being deported from Warsaw. 10,000 people a day. We heard their head has committed suicide. Anyway, those from Warsaw haven't been through our hell. But we're still here. I borrow Polish novels from the library. 2 marks a month. Cannot read anything else anymore. I have volume 2 of the Forsyte Saga by Galsworthy. I've also been reading Buddenbrooks for some time, the original version. Today, Lollek Milgram offered me a clerk position in the Arbeitseinsatz. They look for people who are at least fairly educated and intelligent. I said yes right away. I've worked today as a clerk and scribe. We work from 7:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. I'm more than happy to have my long-desired moments alone. No more prison atmosphere of the department. No more shouts and dust-ups. The first day of the new year. The 4th year of the war. The morning news is that Germans emptied all hospitals in the ghetto. Hair-raising scenes took place when patients were being loaded up. They know they're being sent to their deaths. The Germans demanded all children younger than 10, old people over 65, the sick, the disabled, and the unemployed. An unprecedented panic in the streets. The registration office prepared the lists, which were then sealed. At 4, Bukojemski and Eng.version, who is the head of many departments, gave their speeches. They said it was necessary to sacrifice the children and the elderly. They could not do anything about it. So they asked us not to disturb the deportation process. An easy thing to say when the Germans exempt all children of department heads, policemen, and others from the deportation order. My mum is a victim of the Nazi German bloody beast. After my mum was examined, she ran madly into the house. My father begged doctors to have mercy on her. He later ate the soup which was left by our relatives who were hiding at our place, and stole sugar from their bag. She gave everybody a farewell kiss and took her bag with bread and a few potatoes. I forced her to do so. She later went to meet her cruel destiny. She's on a reserve list, but our leaders will exchange a healthy person for a disabled one. I hate this bloody capitalist world. My father must have had some pangs of compassion during the night, because in the morning he went to some friends for help. To no avail, obviously. Mum never came back. We're used to all the pitiful laments and cries, and do not pay any attention to them. Why should I care about another mother's cry when my mum has been taken away? I tend to get such shivers and cramps that it seems to me I'm going crazy or delirious. Despite all of that, I cannot stop thinking about my mum. Suddenly, as if I was split in two, I find myself in her mind and body. Their deportation is coming. No chance for help.
W tym miejscu urwa się dziennik. Urwa się to, co my mamy. Ale ta wielka szpera, ona jest wyjątkowa, ponieważ już z selekcji są podani ludzie przed wywózką, ale przedtem bez selekcji całymi rodzinami byli wywożeni od 15 stycznia. Ponad 70 000 ludzi z getta, to jest olbrzymia część tego getta, tej ludności została wtedy wysiedlona. Ale w jakim sensie następuje stabilizacja samego getta? Ono przybrało status obozu pracy, a więc uznane zostało za pożyteczne i w jakimś sensie była to również zasługa zarządcy niemieckiego, a więc Bibowa. Temu zależało na tym, żeby mieć coś, gdzie można się oprzeć, żeby uniknąć wyjazdu na front.
We received our allowance for the last 10 days of November. I quarrelled fiercely with my father, who had already taken some of it, so it was smaller by the time we weighed it. I told him what I think of him, and how much I hate him. He didn't care. Violent quarrels between me and my father have become regular. The office is my haven. I'm frightened and disgusted when leaving for home. I almost fought with my father today. He got me to the point of throwing pieces of radish at him, which he wouldn't leave me to eat in peace. He wants every single crumb or peel. A truly fallen man. The house gets dirtier, colder, and wetter. My father is terribly loused and dirty. He hasn't washed since he came back from prison. I'm still fine, but Nadia is already infected. I received 300 grams of meat in the office. 1/3 of a can. They said we should cook the meat, but as soon as we got home, we ate it straight from the can. It was the first time I had ever eaten canned meat. We will also receive 5 kilograms of kohlrabi. Fantastic. The spring is coming. Turns out my father contracted scabies in prison. It festered on him all the time, because he thought it was lice. We chopped up and burnt the only wooden bed of the 3, so now Nadia has to sleep with my father in the bigger bed. Unsurprisingly, she got that dreadful disease. When they start tearing at their itchy skin in the evenings, it makes my flesh creep. I finally got a voucher for shoes that I should have received 2 months ago. Anyway, cannot use it without money. The last day of the old year. A holiday in Poland. New Year's Eve. The ghetto is starving again. But those in power have fun, as always. The heads of our office will also have a feast today. They'll have vodka, soup, cakes, salads, and sausage. Now, how about the real lords? Gertler's band. Vegetable smugglers, policemen, Krippos, Gestapo officers, carters and bakers, all those who get food in the ghetto from official and unofficial sources. They all can have their feasts too. My father fell down badly yesterday and couldn't go to work. I had to go to the department in the morning to let them know. He works as a porter. The doctor will be coming tomorrow. My father's leg is broken at the ankle. He qualified for a plaster cast in the surgery hospital. So far, he hasn't even received a dressing. There's a tense atmosphere at home again. Father claims no one wishes to care for him and save him. He has forgotten how he behaved when they were taking Mum to her death. I went to buy shoes again, and this time I chose a pair of Chassidic Jodhpur boots. I needed backing from one of the saleswomen who knew my mum. I paid 16 marks after a discount. My father's leg is in plaster. He'll stay in hospital for a couple of days. Keeps asking for food all the time. Nadja sent him the 250 grams of bread that she would have given him anyway. He's not the kind of father who's worth jeopardizing our health for, like we did for our mum. Our blessed and beloved mum, whom we'll never forget, night and day. My legs froze in those Jodhpur boots, and now I walk like an invalid. I visited Turbovich after work and borrowed our last Hebrew textbook. I need to read in that language, or otherwise I will forget it.
Muszę przyznać, że ja tego nie pamiętałem, ale faktem jest, że dzięki mojemu ojcu nasza biblioteczka domowa była dość zasobna w książki hebrajskie i wydaje mi się, że wtedy on pożyczał również u mnie książki brytyjskie hebrajską. Tak przypuszczam.
I can hardly walk because of that bloody wound on my foot, but I cannot sit at home. It's worse with scabies. I have lots of scabs on my body and suffer unbearably. I went to the doctor today. He gave me a prescription for an ointment to be applied to the whole body and the penis. Unfortunately, the ointment is brown. I look like an African. I was so embarrassed today in the office because of my African hands. But at night I slept well, without any itching. My father's health is deteriorating. No help is coming. In the afternoon, I read out fragments of The Alarm. Everybody liked it a lot, both the style and the topic. My father doesn't care about anything. He breathes hard, speaks little, and eats almost nothing, although his stomach is fine. The doctor was supposed to visit us today, but he never came. Nadja went to see him, and he promised to come tomorrow morning. My unfortunate father, who used to be so great, died at 4 p.m. The doctor came at 11:30 a.m. and said his heart was terribly weak. He prescribed immediate strychnine injections, but the ghetto drugstores haven't seen injections for half a year. At 3 p.m., I was alone with father at home. Suddenly, at 3:55, he asked me to help him with his pillows. I did so, and he bowed his head, lying still and hardly breathing. I looked at him all the time from my bed, before realizing he had stopped breathing. I was frightened and couldn't believe it for a few minutes. Nadja came in and ran towards father, shouting, but it was too late. We sent for our uncle, who came in the evening. No one else from the family came. In the morning, Uncle sorted out the paperwork with the doctor and the funeral office. Around 1 p.m., father was cleaned at home, according to the ritual. I was lying on the bed, facing the wall. At 3 p.m., the hearse came. Uncle and Chaim Esther went to the graveyard. No one visited us in the evening. So again, we're left alone at night. From father's allowance, we have 1 kilogram of bread, a little cheese, 3 spoons of sugar, and around 20 grams of oil. We won't sell anything anymore. At 6:30, Bukojemski and Shinitsky came to our department to personally classify all clerks. Bukojemski talked to me for pretty long. He spoke a Lithuanian dialect of Jewish. He seemed to recognize our name. I told him I was the best student, but he said Germans wouldn't care about that. In the end, he told Shinitsky to keep me in the office. The fever is not going down. I can't get rid of the scabs and give my skin a chance to heal. My frostbitten toe is not healing either, so I have to walk in wooden-soled boots, which is a nightmare. We have no more turnip cabbage, and only a few potatoes left. I hope it will last until the new allowance. I met Eng.version. He told me he mentioned me to a clerk from Sonderabteilung, who's an old friend of my uncle from Palestine. He promised to give me work in the police service. I couldn't help smiling when I heard it. Working at Zonda seems the only chance to save my health. Hope it's possible. No answer from Zonda so far. I started the translation of The Imperialist War by Lenin, from Yiddish to Polish. It's rather easy. I feel terrible. The fever's even worse than translating Lenin and reading. I'll be working in a bakery for 3 months. I met Eng.version. He told me that Chaim got a list with my name on it. I should be working one of these days. I've no idea how I got on that list. In the afternoon, I got a letter from Vovkovna that my application to work in the bakery was accepted, and that soon I'll be employed. Did Moniek talk to Vovkovna about me? Nothing new in politics.
Tak. I tutaj kilka znaków zapytania. Zarówno odnośnie do samego dziennika, jak i wszystkim, i to może nawet równie ciekawe, co do losów Dawida. Przyznam szczerze, że nie wiem, co się wtedy stało. Ja byłem gdzieś indziej, nie miałem z nim już kontaktu żadnego, ale widzę z tego, że inni moi koledzy klasowi mieli z nim kontakt. Zresztą wzmianka o tym, że przypisuje dzieło Lenina, daje mi w 100% dowody na to, że otrzymał on za to jakieś wynagrodzenie od Niutka, a więc od naszej organizacji, więc jednak jakieś tam związki istniały. Ale najważniejsze, czy się dostał do piekarni, czy mógł się troszeczkę pożywić, troszeczkę odżywić, troszeczkę użyć swojemu głodowi. Nie, ważno, on umarł w sposób, można powiedzieć, normalny. To, że normalne z wycieńczenia, z głodu, z tuberkulozy.